and understand that chasing the bag and getting the coins, it's important, but that time is the most important thing that we can give. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Traveling Gun. My name is Thomas. I am a regional flight attendant. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. About 3 weeks ago, I wrote in my community tab just some questions that people wanted to know about me, and I was going to do a get to know me video. And one of the questions that stood out to me and that I've been thinking about a lot was, how do I or did I manage to fly with smaller kids? So I thought, why not do this for Father's Day, since I am a father, and I'm pretty sure there are other flight attendants or other men that watch my channel that can kind of relate to me. So I want to say happy Father's Day from me to you and to your fathers. So I've been thinking, ever since this question was asked, I've been thinking a lot about it. And one thing a lot of people don't understand about this lifestyle as a flight attendant, it can be addictive. And what I mean by that is the constant on the go, the constant, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. How we live our regular lives as far as work. A lot of people don't understand our lifestyle. So what I mean by on the go all the time is when we're working, we're on the go. We're in the hotel, we're in a different city 4 to 5 days out the week. So naturally, when we get home, a lot of times, a lot of people wanna go somewhere. They want to fly here, fly there. They're always in another country, or they're always out doing something, that on-the-go lifestyle, because it can get very addicting. And sometimes we forget as flight attendants that there are other people around us who want to spend time with us, who want to see us, and who want to do other things like that, but we seem to forget it sometimes. And how I've managed to fly with kids is this, and this goes for all parents. It doesn't just strictly pertains to men, but yes, you need the money as well. So you have to fly so many hours a month. So you're going to be gone 4 to 5 days out the week. So when I'm working, and then when I'm home, almost all that time is spent towards my kids. That's why I eat as healthy as possible. I work out. I do everything in my power to conserve a lot of energy so I can put my energy towards them. And how I look at it when I got into this lifestyle, one of my favorite rappers, J. Cole, he had a line that says, he always wondered how Batman balanced being Bruce Wayne. And it's the same thing with this lifestyle. How do I balance being a flight attendant and being a father as well? Well, how do I balance that time, given that everybody knows what this flight attendant lifestyle consists of? And part of me has came up with a method. Like when I used to do trips, I did a lot of day trips. So that way I'm gone that morning, they went to school. By the time I come back in the morning, they'll be going to school again, or I can take them to school, or pick them up from school sometime that afternoon. And I still was able to do something, use my benefits, and go somewhere. And then there are plenty of times where I go on vacation, and that's just like, every parent deserves that me time as far as it's just you. But then a lot of times I take my kids with me on vacation for the simple fact of I want them to enjoy those experiences as well. So it kind of balances itself out. And also another thing that I learned a long time ago, before I even started this job, is time. That's all they want, is your time. So you have to kind of make time. Like, people make time for what they want to make time for. Just like I can make time to go on these trips or finagle my schedule around to go on these trips. I do the best that I can to move my trips around. So if my kids have any type of program or something like that, I try to move it around so they can do something. Now I have older children, they're getting into cheerleading, then another one's doing track. So I have to, kind of finesse everything and, try to move things around so I can try to see everybody. Am I going to make it to every one of them? No, but I'm very open and honest with my kids and let them know, listen, I got to work sometimes. Sometimes I might not be able to make it. They don't like it, but they understand it. My younger children, not so much yet, because they're only 6 and 8, and they don't too much understand that. All they want me to is just be there and be present a lot of times. They don't care to do anything with me. They don't, 9 times out of 10, they could care less to do anything, just as long as I'm there. My oldest two, they're getting to that age where they kind of want to less hang out with their parents and more hang out with their friends, because I have a soon to be 14-year-old and then another one's going to be 13. So they're getting into that age, but at the same time, they still want me to be around and give them that time. Growing up, I did see that my mom, even though she had to work 2 jobs, but we were always doing things. We were always in sports, me and my brother was, and she was always there. Every game, she was always there to tuck us in at night, give us a kiss, everything, even though she worked 2 jobs majority of the time. I wouldn't say she worked 2 jobs a lot, but my dad, not so much, for the simple fact of, as I got older, I started to understand and see more. He was battling his own demons from childhood trauma that he hasn't dealt with and still hasn't dealt with to this day, and probably does not plan on dealing with it. So he wasn't always there when I was younger, but when I started from 8th grade forward, he was at every baseball game, every football game, every band concert that I was in. He was there, you know. And a lot of times we forget, as adults, we think the money is important. We got to chase the bag. We got to go get the bag. We got to get our coins. But if you got kids or even family members like your parents, they just want your time, just a little bit. You know, they understand that you have to get money in order to survive. But what I've learned, money isn't always the most important thing. Because do you choose to pick up overtime and not spend that time with your kids? I can deal with the overtime. I don't need it. It's just something that a lot of us are just conditioned to do because we want to be comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I totally understand that. But again, it took my mom really sitting down with me before I even got this job, because I was literally working from almost 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. One job, just doing overtime. And it took her to sit down and talk to me like, I understand why you're doing this, because I put it on myself to try to take as much of the financial, I won't say it's burden, but take on the financial aspect of when it comes to my children, so that it all falls on me. So whenever they need something, they know they can call me, hey, daddy got it. So I'm gonna give it to them. So I did that on my own. Nobody asked me to. So when it comes down to finances, I took on that to say, hey, listen, I understand that you got this going on over here. So if you need something, let me know. I'm here for you for that. So I took on that. So that's why I was doing what I was doing. It wasn't that I needed to. I was just doing it for like that, just in case, that rainy day. But my mom sat down and told me, like, listen, your kids need your time. They need you there. And it took me a while for it to register. And then it finally hit me one day when I was just sitting at home with everybody, and I just thought about it. They're not asking me for money. They're not asking me for anything. They were just happy that I was there. And honestly, that is the best feeling in the world when I come home from a trip and I see my youngest daughter, the only one that does that, but she gets super excited when she sees me. And you know, everybody else, they're excited, but they're not like excited as my youngest daughter. Like you would think she hasn't seen me in 6 years. That is how excited she gets, and that's the best feeling in the world. And I think we as men have to understand that we have to give our time versus just the money, because the money is important too, but I think the time is the most important and the most valuable than the money, because money will come and go. You can't get back that time. You can't rewind the clock and take your son or daughter back to 8 years old when they learn how to shoot their first shot or learn how to skate on roller skates. So I would say the time is the most important thing, and we can't get time back. Time is going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And if we work, by the time we look up, our kids are graduating from high school. They're going to college. And you look back on all the things that you've missed. All the things that you missed. And you'd be like, dang, where did the time go? It was spent at work. Like I said, as men, I know a lot of us, I'm guilty of this. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep up the financial stability for ourselves, our families, And, you know, not saying women don't do it as well. What I'm saying is I just know that I know a lot of men that they can have a woman that has a good job, but they still would take on that responsibility to make sure that that family doesn't fail, regardless of what it is, even though they got a second income coming in. And I've been guilty of that. Like, that's all I cared about, was making sure that my kids had everything that they needed. We have to go easy on ourselves as parents, especially if you're the breadwinner or if you're the only income coming in. We have to go easy on ourselves and understand that chasing the bag and getting the coins, it's important, but that time is the most important thing that we can give our children. But how I managed to answer the question in a long roundabout way, how I managed to fly, is that I managed to balance my time. Being that majority of my time, it does seem like it's being at work, but when I'm at home, all my time is spent being around them, doing things with them. Or if I'm on a trip, just like I took my kids, my oldest two kids, I took them to Tokyo with me during the Christmas break. I had to rearrange my schedule to be off for those days in order to take them there. And then I took my younger kids the next month to Washington, D.C. for a day trip. So it's a balancing act. Like, my younger kids, they're not ready for a long trip like that yet. They're not ready for that. So I did a day trip to DC. Perfect. It's the balancing act of time. And like everybody says, you make time for what you want to make time for. And I'm not saying you're neglecting your kids. I don't want nobody to think that I'm saying that. What I'm saying is, time is the most important thing out of everything. When it comes down to your children or anything, because you can't get time back, because you'll be mad if somebody wasted your time on a date. And you know, time is the most important thing, because we don't have a lot of time, because it keeps going. It doesn't go back. It doesn't reset. We can't hit a reset button, but we can always go back and make more money, but we can't go back and make more time. That's all I have for you today. I want to say thank you all for watching. Happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth for everybody out there. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to all my return subscribers. Thank you for the support. Hope you liked the video. Hope it answered a question and maybe just gave you a little bit of insight about who I am. Until next time, I'm out.